Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to reflect on the humanitarian crisis around us, but mainly around our preparedness to actually utilize the talent that is coming and will be coming to the country. As you mentioned, the world continues watching in horror as the war in Ukraine stretches to the third month. And about a quarter of Ukrainians were forced out of their homes, and close to 5 million had to flee to neighboring countries. This is the largest number of displaced people in Europe since the Second World War. And the Canadian government has stepped up and created new pathways for Ukrainians to come on a temporary emergency visa. Over 140,000 Ukrainians have already applied to come to Canada under this emergency visa. And while there's a lot of news coverage currently focusing on Ukraine, we cannot forget that this conflict actually comes just on the heels of a crisis in Afghanistan back in August, a conflict that displaced over 700,000 people. And that continues to deepen as the economy in Afghanistan collapses. Canada is still gearing up to accept the 40,000 Afghan refugees it committed to. Just over 8,000 actually physically arrived in Canada. So the majority we are gearing up for the arrival. And in the fall, I'm sure all of you saw the new immigration targets that they're tabled. And we as a country are preparing to receive over 1.3 million immigrants over the next 3 years. And there are obvious economic benefits why we need immigrants. Like we all talk about the positive contributions to our population growth, labor growth, GDP growth. But what I'd like to talk about is the fact that these benefits should go both ways. Immigrants and refugees should be able to find rewarding careers that reflect their expertise, their skills in Canada. And I think this is where we as a country are still falling short. Less than 40% of newcomers work in skills commensurate jobs. That's a huge waste of talent. And studies show that the first 3 years after arrival are the most critical. If you don't find a job in your field within the 3 years, your chances dramatically decrease over time. And you are more likely to stay in low-paying jobs with low job security. And the underutilization of immigrant talent is and continues being one of the key economic issues facing our country. And something we can no longer ignore. We are facing an unprecedented change in the workforce. All of us and all of the sectors are struggling to hire and find talent. So being able to tap into underutilized talent pools is becoming a necessity for employers. And the one thing that we also need to be acutely aware is that the labor market challenges and the discrimination that immigrants and refugees still experience could negatively influence our attractiveness to potential future immigrants. We do, as a country, depend on immigration, and we also have to think about our reputation. And when we talk about the underemployment of newcomers, it is often attributed to the need to improve credential recognition. And millions of dollars have been invested into programming focusing on credentials. But while credentials are important, it is not the main barrier because we witness a large underutilization of newcomer talent in non-regulated positions too. And there's a lot of research that shows that obtaining Canadian work experience in their field is more important to positively affecting newcomer success than education. So it is my belief that the most significant barrier lies in our inability to provide newcomers with on-the-job experience that would equip them with the Canadian experience, networks, and the references that we all need when we are growing our careers. And this is where you as employers can make significant difference in being intentional in creating job opportunities, and especially first job opportunities for immigrants and refugees. Canada has this robust system of supporting young people in obtaining work experience through a series of co-ops and internships. And I'm sure many of your organizations welcome co-ops every year. It's something that we build into our hiring practices. We build this process of testing new talent. And we all recognize that while students are well-trained, they lack the on-the-job experience that will help them get that first job and succeed. And newcomers are no different. They deserve that same first job opportunities to succeed. So I would like to actually highlight an initiative that came out of this group. We received an introduction, and thank you very much, Jackie, to introduce Mosaic to a senior manager at Metro Vancouver, who is an immigrant herself. She's a member of the diversity committee at Metro Vancouver, and she used her internal influence to propose a workplace experience program for newcomers to the HR director and then to the general manager. And that program has been just approved. So Metro Vancouver is going to build newcomer work experiences opportunity into their hiring process. It's not going to be one-offs. They're going to systematically build it into their hiring. So I'd like to reach out to all of you to consider what you can do in your sphere of influence to embed newcomer work experiences opportunities into hiring practices of your organizations. And if you'd like to chat and talk about how to set it up, we're happy to have that conversation. And bring about the change that we all need to fully utilize the expertise and the talent that we are welcoming and will continue welcoming to this country, because we can't continue and we can't afford just doing what we've been doing for these years and expect that we'll receive different results. So that's a little bit of outreach and ask for help to make sure that newcomers also get that benefit of immigrating to Canada and they find fulfillment and meaningful jobs once they're here. So thank you so much.